Beneath the ocean, a shadow glides past, and the balance shifts in an instant. It uses speed to close the distance, intelligence to pressure, and coordination to contain its target. Each move is controlled, precise, and strong enough to unsettle even other predators. When the orca fully commits, which creature can truly stand its ground? The orca is an intelligent marine mammal that stands at the top of the ocean's food chain. Although often called a whale, it is actually the largest member of the dolphin family. Its strength lies not only in physical power, but in highly precise coordination. Each pod develops its own hunting strategies and communication signals, passed down through generations. In the cold expanse of the ocean, the orca stands as a symbol of intelligence and adaptability. In the deep, quiet ocean, a living monument holds its place. The blue whale. Reaching up to about 100 feet in length and weighing more than 300,000 pounds, this giant moves like a drifting island across the vast sea. In such an immense space, that scale can seem like an untouchable shield, guarding the powerful heart that steadily sustains its entire body. Yet in a world this wide, even that advantage doesn't always hold. From below, the shadows of orcas begin to appear. They do not rush in. They keep their distance, watch closely, and slowly tighten into a flexible formation. Some hold the direction of movement, while others sweep in from both sides, constantly adjusting position to put pressure on the whale's swimming rhythm. Records from waters off Bremer Bay show that pursuits like this can last for more than an hour, with the intensity barely easing. The blue whale answers with powerful tail strikes, but the strength of a single animal struggles to break that coordinated ring. When one orca pulls back, another quickly takes its place. Under the pressure of the deep ocean, the balance gradually shifts toward strategy. Here, the one that controls the final rhythm is not always the largest, but the one that works with greater precision. Across the open sea, dolphins have long been seen as symbols of speed and intelligence. Their streamlined bodies, bursts of more than 20 miles per hour, and lightning-fast changes in direction make them stand out across the moving surface. They hold formation through refined sound signals, moving as if every distance has already been measured. In the wild, they are both graceful and sharp, perceptive enough to keep pace with the rhythm of the sea. But in the Pacific, even a large dolphin pod numbering nearly 1,000 individuals cannot always keep control. When orcas appear, the balance shifts almost instantly. They deploy a pincer formation with cold, precise coordination. One group keeps pressure from behind, forcing the dolphins to change direction again and again as the formation gradually stretches apart. The other group circles ahead, sealing off the escape route. The moment one individual falls out of sync with the shared shield, the advantage immediately shifts to the side with better organization. Inside the tightening ring, one well-timed move, delivering force measured in tens of thousands of pounds force, is enough to send a dolphin surging out of the water in a burst of impact. That encounter shows that speed has never been an absolute advantage. Collective intelligence is what ultimately shapes the balance. And the orca stands as a master strategist. In the frozen ocean, each drifting ice floe appears like a fragile island, where seals take advantage of rare moments of rest after long journeys through dark water. Rising only a few feet above the surface, they seem safely beyond the reach of danger. But just below, the rhythm of the water begins to change as intelligent dark shapes quietly move in. The orcas begin with the carefully calculated technique known as wavewashing. The pod forms a horizontal line, swimming in parallel with perfect timing before diving in unison. The final tail strike sends up a wave nearly 5 feet high, driving a massive volume of water forward, shaking the icy platform, breaking its stability, and pushing the seal into the freezing sea, where a new order has already been set in place. This technique is not a sudden instinct, but an inherited skill passed down through generations. Young orcas spend years closely following the pod to learn how to control the water with precision. It is a long process of discipline and practice, proving that collective intelligence is the most valuable legacy behind their lasting power across generations. Along the Patagonian coast, the sandy shore is not simply a place of rest, but a fragile line between calm and danger. Here, sea lions weighing hundreds of pounds lie close together, enjoying the stillness after hours of hunting in cold water. But farther offshore, the ocean's top hunters quietly study the tidal cycle with the precision of a mathematician. When the tide reaches its peak, an orca suddenly surges to around 30 miles per hour, borrowing energy from the waves to perform a technique known as intentional stranding. Rather than charging in blindly, it targets the sea lion's exposed position, using a bite force measured in the thousands of pounds to gain control. One powerful twist of the body is enough to overwhelm the sea lion before the orca uses the pull of the retreating surf to slide its massive 12,000-pound body back into the ocean. But Patagonia is not defined only by encounters at the water's edge. Farther offshore, where sea lions spread out to feed, a different kind of battlefield takes shape. Under the guidance of an experienced female leader, young orcas learn how to track direction, cut off retreat, and separate one individual from the group. There, each pursuit is not only a search for food, but also a lesson in survival. In that way, the ocean always belongs to those who are not only powerful, but also able to pass strategy from one generation to the next. Across the vast oceans of the southern hemisphere, the humpback whale stands as a symbol of enduring strength and deep protective instinct. With pectoral fins stretching up to about 16 feet, it carries a form that appears both immense and calm in the open sea. Yet even that steadiness is constantly tested by the orca, a predator known for close coordination and rare patience. In Australian waters, this is not simply an encounter, but a harsh trial of endurance. Rather than attacking the mother whale, which weighs many tons, the orcapod maintains a flexible formation, constantly shifting position to isolate the calf. Most unsettling is the way it turns maternal instinct into a point of pressure. One orca may mimic the motion of lifting the calf toward the surface, the same movement the mother uses to help it breathe. Just a few inches of mistimed response can draw the young whale away from the shelter of those massive pectoral fins. After hours of resisting relentless pressure, once the mother begins to lose the ability to shield the calf, the encounter turns decisively in the pod's favor. Against that frigid backdrop, with the fading echo of humpback song in the distance, the ocean seems to whisper a harsh truth. In the dance of survival, even those who reach out to protect can still fall behind by a single breath. The great white shark has long been a symbol of quiet strength in cold seas. Reaching nearly 20 feet in length and delivering an estimated bite force of around 4,000 pounds force, this predator is known for ambushes from below, rising with sudden speed to control seals near the surface. In a world defined by timing and precision, it has few true rivals. But today, the hunter finds itself under pressure. From the depths, orcas appear and quickly close their formation. They do not rush in head-on. Instead, they approach from blind angles, cutting off movement and pushing the shark out of rhythm. A single, well-timed impact can roll the shark over, placing it into a temporary state known as tonic immobility. For the orca, this is not a display of force, but a matter of survival. The shark's oil-rich liver provides a dense source of energy in cold waters. Here, the final advantage does not belong to sharper teeth, but to the one that turns collective intelligence into a decisive edge. And that is why the orca is often seen as the true ruler of the ocean. The hunt ignites across the grassland, and the lion quickly drives its target into a zone of intense pressure. But the target does not break formation. It pivots and pushes back with powerful resistance. From a position of control, the lion is suddenly pulled into a confrontation beyond its expectation. And with just one wrong choice, the entire advantage can shift in an instant. At first glance, the giraffe appears graceful, almost removed from direct confrontation. But on the African savanna, first impressions can be misleading. Standing over 18 feet tall and weighing close to 3,000 pounds, this animal carries a quiet but formidable strength, enough to make any predator pause before closing in. When a pride of lion begins to focus on a calf, the atmosphere tightens immediately. This is when the mother reveals a powerful protective instinct. Instead of retreating, she holds her ground, using legs nearly 6 feet long as a strong defensive line. The moment a lion commits to an approach, the response can come almost instantly. A single well-placed kick is enough to force hesitation across the entire pride. The calm of the grassland gives way to pounding hooves and a sudden shift backward from the predators. In that moment, it is no longer grace that stands out, but the remarkable defensive strength of a mother protecting her young. In the Serengeti, lions fail in nearly 75% of attempts against full-grown adults. Each precise strike becomes a clear warning. On this edge of survival, height is not only for vision, it is a powerful defensive advantage. After repeated attempts, the pride eventually withdraws from an opponent that proves difficult to overcome. The African buffalo has never been an easy target across the open grasslands. For the lion, it represents a vital source of energy, one that can sustain the pride for days. But with that value comes significant risk. An adult can weigh over 1,100 pounds, carrying enough muscle and mass to force any predator to think carefully before closing in. To approach such prey, lions often spread out, attempting to disrupt the herd's movement and isolate the young or the weak. But when pushed into a position where defense becomes necessary, buffalo rarely react in panic. They turn to face the threat, lower their horns, and hold formation with remarkable focus. A single, well-timed response can be enough to break the lion's momentum and force them to step back. What stands out even more is their refusal to abandon one another. At the first alarm, the herd, especially dominant adults, can quickly regroup, forming a strong defensive wall around their own. In many situations, this unity shifts the balance, leaving the lions at a disadvantage and prompting a retreat to safer ground. On the savanna, the buffalo does not rely on size alone. It stands firm through discipline, endurance, and the instinct to protect as a group. And in that environment, even a top predator must sometimes hesitate before a force that cannot be easily broken. The African savanna does not belong only to those with greater physical strength. The African wild dog, weighing around 70 pounds, carries a very different advantage: endurance, coordination, and pack discipline. When a lone female lion steps into their territory, tension rises immediately. The wild dogs do not rush in chaotically. They hold formation, taking turns to close in, constantly shifting direction to apply pressure from multiple angles while maintaining a safe distance. The encounter quickly becomes a test of patience. The lioness remains a formidable force, but under that steady, persistent pressure, each turn and response begins to drain more energy. When the cost of continuing outweighs the benefit of holding ground, withdrawal becomes the practical choice. On the harsh grasslands, it is a clear reminder: the final advantage does not always belong to the larger one, but to the one that can sustain the rhythm longer. Along the silt-colored rivers of Africa, the hippopotamus does not need display to assert its presence. A full-grown individual can weigh around 4,000 pounds, with tusks extending over 1 foot beyond thick gray skin. By day, it remains submerged in cool water, giving the entire stretch of river an almost deceptive calm. But in that place, calm has never meant safety. Beneath the surface lies an invisible boundary where every unfamiliar movement is closely monitored. The moment a predator moves too close, that seemingly still mass can surge forward in an instant. The hippo rises abruptly, using its thousands of pounds to completely disrupt the approach. In that moment, for the lion, stepping away from the water's edge is often the only way to avoid being drawn into an unfavorable encounter. During the dry season, As water levels drop and living space tightens, the risk of confrontation becomes more defined. At the shoreline, where the lion often looks for an opportunity to close in, the hippo becomes a wall of counterpressure. Despite its heavy build, it can surge to around 20 miles per hour over short distances. Yet, under prolonged pressure, it also recognizes that the water is where its greatest advantage remains. In reality, there have been many moments when predators misjudged this massive force. Without complex tactics, a single decisive closure of the hippo's jaws is enough to shift the entire balance of the encounter. Under the harsh savanna sun, the contrasting stripes of the zebra do more than create a signature image. They can disrupt a predator's focus when the herd clusters together. Behind that appearance is a body built for rapid response. An adult can weigh around 700 pounds, with a solid frame strong enough to turn even a brief hesitation from an opponent into a chance to break away. For that reason, an encounter with a lion is not just a test of speed, it is also a test of distance, timing, and reflex. When the gap closes too tightly, the zebra can pivot quickly, delivering a rear kick with forces of around 3,000 pounds per square inch, using both hind legs, or bite back to create a critical moment of separation. On the African grasslands, the zebra does not survive by chance. It holds its ground through speed, formation, and the ability to read the right moment. As a result, what may seem like an easy target can become a difficult test for the predator itself. Across the semi-arid grasslands of East Africa, the oryx is not an easy target to pressure. Its compact, muscular body can reach around 400 pounds, carrying a pair of straight horns nearly 4 feet long, held like two ready spears. For this antelope, defense is not a last resort. It is a built-in strategy for survival. Even against African wild dogs, it can disrupt the rhythm of an attack. That is how it holds its ground across the dry plains. When a group of inexperienced lion begins to close in, the hunt quickly turns into a test in reverse. They narrow the distance from multiple angles, using sparse, low shrubs to conceal their approach. But the oryx does not panic. It lowers its center of gravity, pivots slightly, and keeps its horns aligned toward the greatest threat, forcing the hunters to slow down. At the most critical moment, just a single step taken at the wrong angle can shift the balance entirely. In that instant, the savanna reinforces an old rule. Instinct may begin the hunt, but discipline, spacing, and experience decide who holds control to the very end. Across the African grasslands, few rivals keep the lion under constant pressure like the spotted hyena. This is not just a species that follows opportunity, it is also a highly effective hunter, built with remarkable endurance under temperatures above 90 degrees Fahrenheit. Because of that, the rivalry between them has become a familiar rhythm of life on the savanna. Spotted hyenas rarely face a lion alone. They rely on numbers and coordination to create pressure. A single adult weighs around 140 pounds, but the true advantage comes from the group, with a clan often numbering in the dozens under a female-led structure. At times, just as a pride secures its catch, low, compact, and patient figures begin to appear along the edge of the grassland. At first, only a few individuals approach to test the situation, but very quickly, a quiet arc forms, tightened by broken calls and short, repeated advances. They apply pressure through numbers, constantly shifting direction, forcing the lions to turn again and again to maintain their position. Without the support of an adult male, the balance can shift rapidly. The moment the lions lose rhythm, the hyenas move in, take control of the prize, and pull the advantage away. But when a full-grown male appears, the pressure often drops almost immediately. On the savanna, power does not belong to the one who reaches first, but to the one that can hold the opportunity longer. The chase comes to a close, yet its presence still lingers across the deep. The orca holds its place at the top through discipline, unity, and steady resolve. In the vast blue world, its presence alone is enough to slow every movement around it. If you want to see more intense encounters, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, because in the wild ocean, the highest ground belongs to the one that controls the rhythm of the hunt.